Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast. Welcome back to your second part of StrangeCast, because this was a two-part special that we've done impromptu. I am one of your hosts, Adnan. My co-host from Game Ranks himself, Falcon, Adam Evalt. You're here.
I'm here, and I highly recommend Wonder Belly and Acids. They're very nice, and they're all natural, and these taste like strawberry milkshakes. If you need some antacids, some Tums in your life.
Indeed, and just to confirm, he is not Falcon promoting that product as well, because I need to give you a nickname, maybe Shadow Falcon, actually.
Shadow Falcon. Why not Eagle? I'm an Eagles fan, and it's another bird of prey.
Eagle Falcon. I like that. Maybe you could. Yeah, you could be Eagle to his Falcon. I like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
there we go.
That's why I'm on the creative side here.
Indeed, you're the pillars that keep this podcast alive, which is for me the most important thing. So, welcome back, guys. If you are new here, as always, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, share your friends. It helps keep us up to date with all the Life is Strange content we do. StrangeCast, Lost Records Journal, Fireside with A&A, all the podcasts are available on this channel as well. So do subscribe if you can. And also as well, StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with the video version, on Apple Podcasts, we're available on everything. So do go and follow us there, because as soon as the episodes become available, you get them. And also do rate us as well. It boosts our visibility. We've got 286 followers on Spotify and also 41 ratings. So thank you so much for that. Adam, we're back. So obviously, if you haven't realized as well, the first part is available. It's available on podcast services. It's available on YouTube as well. We did a big kind of exposition about the Lost Records PlayStation Plus deal that's happened. So go and check that out. And then we're going to focus on here. We got one or two pieces about Lost Records in here, but we've got a lot of Life is Strange things to talk about in here. So Adam, should we kick things off as always?
As always.
So this is very minor, Adam, but we keep the people relevant. Here it is. Hannah Telle is on Wikipedia. So there she is. She is officially on Wikipedia. If you have been following me on Twitter, I've been following the Wikipedia saga. Adam, I don't think you've been that involved in that. Have you been following the Wikipedia saga?
No, I have not.
So let me inform you about this, because I think you might find it funny. So in itself, this article was created by someone. Then at the same time, an editor had suggested it for deletion. So basically, someone on Wikipedia can suggest an article for deletion, suggesting that someone isn't appropriate for a Wikipedia page. Because it's like, for me, if I went and set one up for Castergarden, they would say, what makes Castergarden relevant to Wikipedia? Like, have they got any like mainstream publicity? Are they a celebrity? Are they a major figure? So it went for a couple of days, and then eventually that message has been deleted. So it is now standing. Hannah Telle is officially on Wikipedia with her own page. And I think it's thoroughly deserved as well. And the worst, and also as well, Adam, in the fiasco of the deletion process, because you can go on Wikipedia and see what the editors are saying and what they're talking about. Someone was using my articles to say that Hannah Telle is a public figure. So like, she's been reported in Hardcore Gamer saying this, and that. She's like getting mainstream attraction. So it is quite nice. But in itself, Adam, as well, I wanted to give this a bit of a shout out, because if you go down here, for example, and you look into the references, where am I looking here? As you can see that, hey, look at that.
Hey, look at that.
Back in 2015, all the way back down there. And if you look here as well.
Hey.
Via YouTube as well. So Player One versus the World is mentioned on there. I mentioned on there. It's actually quite
twice.
Crazy.
So you're on number 17 as well, and 18.
I think I mentioned the right column as well. Have I mentioned the right column as well? No, I'm not too egotistical for that. So we are here. I'm on here twice, and also Player One versus the World is on here, which is quite cool. So it's quite nice. Katie Benz is there as well. Other people. So Hannah Telle has her own Wikipedia page, as you can see as well. It's got all her little details here and there. She has 4 cats. Adam, she's also a vegetarian, Adam.
Hey, look at that. Vegetarians. We're united, everybody.
Indeed. And the 4 cats. Yeah. Come on, get Michel Telle on here. Get Michel Telle mentioned here. Get him a little asterisk. He's got his own credit there. Come on, like. But as you can see there's a thingy. I love that. Oh, have you not seen it? Yeah, she's on iCarly. There's a photo of her. Everyone pulls it up.
I have not seen that. No.
Yeah, she's in iCarly. Like, it's so. Everyone's like, oh, damn. It's like, as you can see, her credits there. Max Caulfield as well. We'd love to see her. Life is Strange, etc. So it is quite nice to see. So that was just like a little piece of news that we wanted to include on
here. Look at that
conversation. Have you found her as a harp player?
I have found her as a harp player. Yeah, I did not. There we go.
He's pulling it up for you guys if you're on the video version.
There you go.
Yep, there it is. That's the one.
The harp player. I did not know that. Huh. Well, the more you know.
Do you know what? Did you ever watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch with
Of course I did.
Melissa Joan Hart? Well, I'm just checking because it's like one of the most culturally important pieces of medium that was produced in the 1990s and 2000s. Now, do you remember the episode where Aunt Hilda buys a clock shop?
Yes.
And one thing I noticed as well, the last couple of months when I went back and watched it, the person that sells Aunt Hilda the clock shop is Joe Ockman, who I've interviewed on this channel.
What?
Who is Joe Ockman, who is William Price himself. So we have now established canon that Aunt Hilda bought her clock shop from William Price himself. I need to take a screenshot of it, but it is. Yeah. I watched it back. I was watching it like, man, I was like, Joe. I was like, he's got an incredible career, Joe. Like the amount of credits he's got is mad. But I was like, I was like, I was like, that's a surprise to me. So yes, Hannah Telle's got her history, and then also many other actors as well. So nice to see her on Wikipedia, if anything. So we've just put that in a nice little piece of news there. Adam, should we go into our main piece of news here as well that we got?
Absolutely.
Adam, next piece of news, big one. It came out after StrangeCast, annoyingly. It comes out after the time, but Don't Nod has announced there, saying we've teamed up with some wonderful friends to bring you something new. Catch the reveal during the IGN X Xbox showcase on the 24th of February at 7 p.m. CET. It's a journey worth taking. Stay tuned with some emojis. One thing I wanted to add as well, they posted on the other social media pages they had, and they also had this cute little artwork.
Yeah.
Suggests that is probably the game that they're going to be announcing. What did you make of that?
I make of it that there's going to be a game announcement at ID at Xbox coming soon. I don't know. This is one of those games that probably in one of the logo trailers that we saw in the beginning of Don't Nod's name change, that we saw a bunch of different images. So this is definitely going to be one of the images that we have not seen yet.
It's interesting as well because that graphic with all those logos, it might have changed as well because it's suspended two of the games. So it's like maybe we don't actually see what those games are ever going to be for the time being. My prediction is that that's Tiny Ball's game.
Ooh, okay. Yes.
It doesn't look like a major kind of grab your attention kind of game. Essentially, it's an indie showcase, and it's like we knew about that deal with Tiny Ball that they were going to do, and it feels like that looks like Tiny Ball Studios' game.
I was just about to say too, that's going to be February 24th, which is a Monday, and it's going to be 12 p.m. my time. I'm like, come on, during a work day? Come on, dude. What the heck? I hate when people do that. Just we're going to have this big showcase happening on a work day in the middle of the day. So catch us then. It's great. Thank you.
It's like, boo-hoo, you Americans. You feel a bit of pain. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, you guys have to deal with 2 a.m. on E3 and all that stuff. So
exactly. Oh, remember E3? Remember those days, eh? That was feels a distant memory.
Well, they're rebranding it now. The ESA is rebranding it. Yeah, did you not hear that news?
No, I'm glad. I wish I didn't hear it, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's the Interactive Games Conference or something like that. Yeah, the ESA is rebranding E3 again.
Do you know what though? Actually, I hope they succeed because I want the Dorito Pope to be knocked off his little pedestal. Because I actually despise. If I didn't know Don't Nod was going to be there, I remember when Lost Records getting announced, Luke and Michel, I sat up for 3 hours late at night, leading into an 8 o'clock morning shift to watch your game. Had you not mentioned that you were there, not a chance in hell I would have watched that. The same with when the recent one happened. I was like, I'm gonna have to sit for this entire ceremony, wait for Hannah Telle to come up. I was like, and the best acting one starts. I was like, thank you, Jeff. I watched this and I'm out. See you later. I'm not indulging in your conference here. But yeah, E3. Oh god, that was like a relic. That went on for way too long than it needed to. But it's nice that these kind of things exist, and especially the IGN showcase as well, when it's a small one for indie developers. I do think this is Tiny Ball's game. I really do think it's that. I don't think there's anything the other games are further down the line in terms of the timescale that they're on. So I think that naturally we'll see this. Obviously, I don't expect this game to move the needle at Don't Nod in terms of like revenue or anything else like that, but it will be interesting to see what it is. I think Koira looks quite nice as well. It's very small as well, but I think like again, this is like on that extension of that first podcast that we did. The marketing, man, they are like, it's hard already to be a small minor league studio, but in 2025 to sell these kind of games, I don't think it works, man, anymore. Like, if, for example, like that day and age of being a Limbo or a Papers, Please has like gone now. I remember when I was at the early stage, and everyone was like, "Oh, and it's Fez, and it's Papers, Please, and it's Limbo, and it's like success," and people are thinking nowadays, "Oh my God," like the amount of layoffs we see and stuff. I'm like, and no wonder the gaming industry is getting crippled under itself, like with the amount of layoffs. It's like, it's so difficult to kind of like make games and get people to actually play them as well, especially when they're like ludicrously priced. Like, let's put $100 price tag on GTA 6. Like, well, I'll be buying it when it's down to $10, and at that point, it's like, I'm not buying a day one. So yeah, Tiny Bull game, you think?
Yeah, it probably will be. Like, that's the only studio that we really haven't heard from, because like we've already got Tolima, but Tiny Bull is like one of the only ones we haven't heard from.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be in-house. The in-house game, the graphic, the artwork is revealing. When they post that on the other feeds, I was like, it definitely looks like Tiny Bull. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. We'll be reporting on StrangeCast because it includes Don't Nod. Adam, next piece of news. I think you'll like this next piece of news.
Yes, I will definitely like this piece of news.
So as you can see, on the 7th of February, Don't Nod says, we are thrilled to announce that the Academia GV. Oh wow, why is it so Academia des Arts et Tech. Okay. Has nominated Banishers Ghost New Eden for Best Narrative Design at the Pegases 2025. A huge thanks to jury, Focus Entertainment, and the incredible team behind Banishers for making this possible. As you can see, it's there in the nominations, along with the operator from Bureau 81.
Bureau 81.
Yes, Bureau 81, and Worlds of Aria from Ludigram Ishtar Games. So it is in that category there, as you can see, for the nominations. And I'm going to combine it with the next one, Adam, because I think you'll also like this as well, which is that on the 13th of February, 1 year ago, we took up the Banisher's duty in New Eden through the bronze of Red and Antea,
yes.
Antea. You kept the creed alive, life to the living, death to the dead. Thank you for unforgettable year. Here's the journey ahead, and a tag for Focus Interactive. So as you can see there, I think we've covered Pegasus as well before when their Jusant was nominated for something there as well. But it's nice to see it's getting recognition. I know you think very highly of it. I know a lot of people think highly of it. And have spoken very good of it. So it's nice to see it's still getting some nominations. It seems like I haven't played those other two games, but this game does seem like it should comfortably win that award, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. I think people sleep on Banishers, and we talked about this a little bit, how the marketing of Don't Nod didn't really put this in people's faces. And it's terrible, man, because like this is one of those games that really stuck in my brain. I love the narrative of Banishers. I love the gameplay of Banishers. Like it is a game that will live in my memories for a long, long time. So I'm glad it was nominated. And I was about to say it right before you said the second piece. I was like, it's been a year because it came out on Valentine's Day, like around Valentine's Day last year, because they're like, oh, it's two lovers and it's Valentine's Day. So after it was delayed, so good on them. I hope they win it because Banisher's narrative was good. The game was good. More people need to play this game.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think like it will just be one of those games in like a long time from now. People like pick it up along the way and they'll be like, "Oh, this is a really great game." And then I don't know how the game ends, and I'm not played it yet, but I will play it. But it feels like any hope for a sequel is now kind of a little bit dead in the water for the time being.
I don't think there's going to be a sequel to this game now.
Which is a shame as well, because I don't understand why the marketing didn't cut through more as well with Focus, because Focus have worked with Don't Nod before with Vampire, and Vampire was a success to the point where it appears in Don't Nod's earnings every time, where it's like royalties backlog from Life is Strange and Vampire have boosted like, X revenue. But it's like, this one has always been a weird conundrum for me, because when I saw it, I was always like, I was like, this is an interesting game and an interesting idea, and it's very ambitious in the scale of things. It looked like something that it felt like Don't Nod was just tapping on the Triple Ace door, being like, we can make bigger games, and it's like if you give us the money, it'll be great for us. But
Yeah.
again, I think the climate's too different, man. If this game was 10 years ago, I think it would have been like, everyone's like,
Yeah.
yes, we would have played it. But I think because of where we're at now, I have to keep doing that thing where it's like the climate is so different. Like, it's the same with like Lost Records around the corner and the same with other things. I'm like, if these games were made, it feels like the industry's a bit moved on. And I'm not saying it in some way that I don't enjoy it, because I love it, but one thing that's happening with the landscape of the industry, ages are changing. So it's like we're getting millennial and we're getting older, and a lot of our ilk are being like, well, video games for losers, and I'm not going to play it. And instead, you have like younger people coming through playing games, and they're a bit like, I don't really like these kind of story games, because I don't think, for example, a Telltale would work now. I don't think like. Well, it technically showed with the Expanse. I think like their time has come and gone from it now, and I think people are looking for something completely different. Like, how many times do you see a game fly off into success, whether it's not like Fortnite or something else? It's like it's always something that has a bigger appeal. So it's a shame with Banishers. Banishers is on my list of games to play this year. There's a couple where I've like checkmarked them. It's like I need to play that, and that for definitive before like the end of the year. So hopefully I do get to it. Hopefully in the summer at some point. But I only ever heard good things. But I know Adam from Podcast Now loves it, and then Nicefield loves it, and anyone else who I've ever spoken to has said that Banishers is great. So it's like
Banishers is so good, dude.
Yeah.
I know that some people are scared about the how long to beat, which puts it at. Somebody said 60 hours. I'm like, no, that's not true. Yeah, so a completionist is 60 and a half, but the main story is only 22 hours, which it's it's about a 20 to 30 hour game, depending on what you do. But yeah, there's like little side content you can do. Again, I think the combat is good enough for what it is. I don't know, man. It's a special game. I wish more people played it,
It's a shame. I think this is just, again, where obviously an extension of our last episode that we've done the first part. It's like Don't Nod just is
and not a single Game Awards nomination, by the way. Not a single one.
That's bad.
That was bad. Yeah. No, I was not happy about that. I was like, Banishers, dude? No. It was dumb Game Awards snub.
I don't even think it was in the BAFTA conversation. Do you want me to look at the long list as well?
I don't
we didn't really make anything out there.
Don't think we got any BAFTAs. That's so dumb, dude. Like, what a snub. Like, what a hidden gem Banishers is.
Well, that's like that. Do you like that hidden gem, which in another year would have like banged? It's just because of what's happening in the climate of the industry, where people are like maybe not buying games, or like they've changed things, and it's weird as well, because they delayed that game out of that window and they moved it into a more comfortable window, and it didn't sell well. And I'm a bit like,
Yeah, Banishers is not in the BAFTA long list. No.
Maybe there's some success that it goes to PS Plus one day, and like Xbox Games Pass, where it picks up a bit of like talking.
I think it was on Game Pass, if I remember correctly. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was, actually. Was it? No, it was never on Game Pass. I don't think it was ever on Game Pass.
I know Vampire went to PS Plus. I have that downloaded in my backlog. So
Vampire was on Game Pass too. Yeah.
I hope it does go on there. It'll be to its benefit, if anything. So yeah, Banishers 1 year on, if anything. So Adam, next piece of news.
Yes.
Interesting piece of news, Adam. As you can see here, I pulled it up. Gung Ho Bookings on the 1st of February put, we're excited to be in this moment. We might come back to it a couple of times. Gung Ho Bookings is beyond thrilled to announce that several cast members from the critically acclaimed video game series Life is Strange have joined our client list. So as you can see here, I'm just going to pull it up. There's some of the topics that we've doing for the podcast. Hannah Telle's in there, as you can see.
Yep.
The Erika Mori.
Erika Mori.
Is in there as well. Same with Gonzalo Martin. There he is.
Yeah.
Sean Diaz himself. Dan Hutton.
Yes. Alyssa.
Hutton.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think Day should get on the phone and be like, cut out the other two characters and make Alyssa bigger. Why is Alyssa not? That is Day's best character. I will not have anyone say to me that Kate Marsh is better than when she does the Alyssa voice. I'm like, it's so good. That is the best. That is the GOAT Life is Strange character. Forget Max, it's Alyssa. Obviously Katie Benz.
Yeah,
Katie Benz as well. So Katie is there. Rihanna DeVries as well with Chloe Price, which is really cool as well. CC Jones with Joyce.
Yes.
And also with many other credits behind with CC Jones. So as you can see that, and in itself, Adam, as well, I just quickly thought I'd pull it up for our listeners and watchers as well, which is that I pulled up the website here as well for Gung Ho Bookings. And as you can see, it's welcome to Gung Ho Bookings. We offer a way for fan events to connect with talented industry professionals, whether it's a first year fan meetup or long running comic conventions. Our clients and services can fit your needs. We are always looking to work with interested creators and content creators as well. So please send us a note our way, and we'll do our best to get you out to meet your fans. Yes, maybe we should sign up Play One versus World.
I was about to say, should we sign up for this?
Yeah, we can have Dan Hot on that. We can have Falcon from Game Ranks there.
Why not?
Yes,
yeah.
As you can see there, and they're all here. And obviously, we're pulling up Dave's profile here with all her links as well. So it's quite nice to see that there is
CEO of Sad Girls.
So they've all signed up for this as well, and there's variation of that. I'm going to keep scrolling down, but we'll leave that for the time being. Adam, does this confirm that Life is Strange quadruple exposure is in the works because they've all signed up to this agency?
I don't know. I feel like they're trying to distance themselves from it, you know? Like, I think they're trying to distance themselves as far away from Square Enix as possible, so they sign up with Gung Ho, and it's like they're handling us. Like, you handle Square, and we'll just be right here. So I don't know, man. I think it's them escaping Square Enix.
I think it's quadruple exposure. That's been confirmed there with all the actors.
Yes.
The Avengers have been assembled.
Yeah.
I saw Deck Nine retweeted that, and Life is Strange didn't post it on any of their social feeds, which it's an independent agency. Most of them are out their Square contracts, as far as I know.
Yeah,
all of them ish.
Are
out of their Square contracts. So I think like they can do what they want, and they can like sign up to these agencies. It's a convention booking, like, you know, when you go to like where are you in North Dakota? Like North Dakota, meet up and greet with Super Convention XYZ ABC. I'm making a name up.
In Super
like,
Convention in North Dakota.
Imagine that. You're like, like he's guest star like Freddy Krueger or something.
It's like me and the penguins that live here.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just like one of those ones where it's like you have so many different conventions yearly, like across like all countries. Like if you want to book someone, just like reach out to us, we'll bring them there. And I think obviously it seems like more landlocked. So I think, for example, all those actors are in America. So it's like, you know, it'll be like more geographically located, where it's like if Erika Mori can go to like California, they'll fly her out and do the other stuff, and same with Hannah as well. But bring Erika Mori and Hannah Telle and all the actors to England. I want to see them in England. Bloody hell, bring them here. That's what we need.
Get the Lipton tea ready.
Yes. The British, get them to the British Isles. No, it's cool. It's cool for them to have those opportunities to keep working on those kind of things. And I mean, like, come on. I just don't see it being involved in any way, shape, or form. Square doesn't have. Square works with all different partners, and they like, you know, even with the Titans deals and stuff, they like just license it off, and like Titan does their thing with like Square's like, you know, permission and stuff. But it's like, this is just not with Square. This is just the actors working with their own field. Because it says with like, for example, like Erika's as well. It says like about Kamina Drummer, which I will be revisiting this year as well. The Expanse is on my list of things to revisit because I'm very excited for that to play again. So Adam, should we go to another piece of news? I thought this was a little bit of a nice fun one. There's a little bit, couple of trinkets in here as well. So
trinkets.
We are going to Blue Sky, where Mr. Baghadoust is now residing, and you can follow him there. And on the 10th anniversary, no, on the 16th anniversary of Don't Nod. I was talking about Life is Strange, but the 16th anniversary, 16 years, he's Don't Nod. Damn.
Yeah.
Get him a statue built. Get him a statue built. Get his like head and like get the beard showing off at Montreal. Do like a big statue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raise it to your stakeholders. We need a Luc Baghadoust beer outside in the Paris division, and we will fund it.
The
we
beard?
will invest in it.
Just the beard?
Yeah. Well, it'll be his head, but then the beard, like, you know, like big, like statue.
Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Well, we have one in.
You have a beard statue in England?
Yes.
What?
Here's a funny one, actually. There's one. Yes, I'll show you afterwards as well. There's a picture of me with Frederick Ingalls' head as a statue in one of the cities in the UK. It's just his head with a big beard. Friedrich Ingalls. Well, because Marx had a big involvement in the UK as well. He lived in England, even though he predicted that the communist revolution would start in England. It didn't. Like he lived in Manchester for a long period of time. And it's funny, like I did a big documentary on it at one point as a good one finger. But anyway, we're not talking about Friedrich Engels. We're talking about Luc Baghadoust because he had his 16th anniversary and he posted a lot of little cool details, I think, if anything, which are quite nice to share there. So as you can see here, working on Remember Me. Look at that, back in 2009.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so young and innocent back in the days. And just little other ones here as well. There's Oscar Gobert as well. Alain Damasio, 2 of the 5 founders of the studio in 2010. Look at Remember Me. Maxine in the Q&A room back in 2011.
Wow, dude.
So here we go. Still Remember Me as well. You're currently through this, Adam, as well. You picked up last year, I believe.
Yes.
Remember Me. So we're just running people through these. Look at all this. Look at all this Remember Me stuff. It's crazy that you can get. There's a big one.
There's
me in 2014 kissing the agreement signed with Square Enix for the project What If. That would be the name of. That would be named Life is Strange shortly after.
That's crazy. Out.
What do you think's in the black part?
Bao's social security number.
That could be it. Couldn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
that's wild.
Good, very good beard there.
Yeah.
Edward Kaplan as well. As you can see, you don't know team. Here's the big one. There she is, the GOAT, Ashley Birch, at the studio in Oscar's office. I saw her
in Oscar's office. Dang,
she is running the ship. I don't know what she's doing. That's crazy, that as well. Oh, Adam. Yeah. Oh.
There it is. The vinyl I cannot get my hands on.
Damn it. I told you, Square. That tweet went banging off me on Twitter. Just reprint the vinyl. That would...
Yes.
Nod, Deck 9, or like Square... Someone sign me up to your business. I would spin money out of that. It'd be like just... Do you know when Peter's like milking like a cow in Family Guy? It'd be like that. It'd be like a machine. Why are you not reprinting that vinyl, man? It's so good, man. Oh,
for the 10-year anniversary, that would have been the least they can do, and yet, like on the sales of vinyls, man, like on the uprise of vinyls, come on, man.
They could have even limited printed it again, Adam, as well. Do you on the 10th anniversary?
Do a little,
just do like 500,
like a color print on it. That would be great. You know? Yeah. Oh well.
If anything, as well. If anything, I would have ramped the marking up where I did like 500 per pop. So it's like I'll keep doing it until I know that the number's going to hit, and then we just stop after that. But do you think he still has that? Do you still have that vinyl?
Does Luke still have that vinyl?
Yeah,
of course he does. He's not a terrible person, you know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Michel took it. And he's like, I'm having it.
You think Michel is that he's a little thief? If anybody's a thief, it's Luke. Luke is the thief.
Wow. Big accusation. I will leave it at that. But as you can see, nice little bits as well. I'm just going to keep showing this for the video people. Oh, Adam, that bottom right. Oh, no.
Hey, look, it's the holes with the whole...
that's made me sick.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's a horrible one.
That's crazy, dude.
Disclaimer that, Luke, come on, you put a thing over it saying warning, graphic images of triphobia being impacted here. In itself, 2017, John Brooks from Square Enix and Michel Koch arranging Life is Strange trophies in Don't Know. That was a pretty cool moment, that. As you can see, the Game Award, the BAFTA, a lot of little accolades as well. End of 2017 as well, Sofiana and Matthias Fuchs looking at Life is Strange 2 map next to an unfinished Diaz family house, which is quite cool.
Nice.
I thought this was a really cool behind the scenes. I want to keep this in the podcast. As you can see there, little pieces as well. There he is, the man, Jean-Luc, in right mode for episode 3 with his hoodie on. As well, Yannick from the audio team being referenced for Cassidy, which is, again, very, very cool.
Kermit.
Laura, yes. He's smashing out that testing as well. Oh, there's a big one as well. 2020, New Continent. Here is what Don't Know Montreal's office was for the first 6 months with only 4 people in it, sorry. So you had Frederica, I believe that's, Callie and Baptiste, and also himself. Where's Michel? He ain't gonna be there.
Nah, not there yet. No, still packing.
He's not having it, is he?
He's looking for his vinyl that Luke stole from him.
Yeah. So side delayed his move there. As you can see, very early on, 2021 as well. Studio still making shape as well. There's Swan Holloway himself. Michel Koch as well with his camera, which is quite nice. A feature 2022. There's Nora Kelly as well.
Dang.
No, Adam, look at that. During the bass recording
Bass
of See You in
recording.
Hell, do you have anything to say about that? The bass
You
recording.
know, bassists are people too. I don't really have anything bad to say. Bassists, they're less strings, but they're not lesser people, you know?
There you go there. So it's basing
Yeah.
the basing, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's a big one. So you have our voice director, Philip Bark, telling a story that probably started with, let me tell you a story. To Marin, to Kathy, to Michelle and Mary, all there as well. Just for context, that's Michelle, obviously. That's Marin. That's Kathy. That's Mary. Who are all working there.
Look at you go.
Yeah, there we go. We're learning. We're learning from past mistakes. 2023 again. There's Marin as well with Nora. That is Amelia Sagerson, who is Nora's character. Oh, the artist Nora as well.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, it's Nora Kelly. Yes, Nora. I thought it was
Kelly.
like another actor as well with that.
Yeah,
as you can see in
Nora
Montreal.
Kelly.
Adam, there's a big one as well. Michel Koch doing a very emotional.
That's a hard pick.
Section.
That goes hard right there.
Yeah,
man.
He could be on the front of your debut rap album with that cover. You're like Parent Advisory at the top right.
Parental Advisory. Heck yeah, dude.
There we go.
That would be fun.
That is like a proper. He's about to drop his mixtape album as well, Michel. I think.
Can you save that and send it to me on Messenger? And when we get to the next segment, I'm gonna make it into a rap album. Message that to me, please.
Can you send it to him on Blue Sky as well?
Oh yeah, Blue Sky. Duh. Yeah. So okay.
I mean, you should definitely. And there you go. So that's the thread, if anything. I thought they were quite neat. Nice little behind the scenes things as well. It's always nice to see that as well. I will send it to you after the show, Adam, as well on Blue Sky. But yeah, very cool to see all that stuff. And obviously some nice little Lost Records bits as well to mention in there from Luke. So I just wanted to share that. Adam, should we go to our next piece of news?
Definitely. Yes.
So Adam, this is a little bit of a big one, actually. This came out again after StrangeCast. They always seem to come out after StrangeCast, don't they?
Always.
So Adam, Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake exceeded Square Enix's expectations, but game sales dropped overall. So this is more in context of Square Enix reporting financial earnings. So we're going to include this in here. So Dragon Quest III HD 2D exceeded Square Enix's sales expectations, though the net sales for the games over the last 9 months have overall been in decline. Whilst the company's latest earnings reportings doesn't specify total sales of Dragon Quest III, the company previously shared it had shipped and downloaded 2 million copies. Further, according to Famitsu, Dragon Quest III became the top-selling game in Japan for the entirety of 2024 in just 1 week. Square Enix is notorious for setting high sales estimates of its games. Particularly in the Final Fantasy series. Most recently admitted that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy XVI profits did not meet expectations. For Dragon Quest III, to do so means the game has either sold exceptionally well or the company had lowered estimates this time. Still, overall net sales for Square Enix's games are down 10.7% year on year, while overall profits dropped 9.9%. That's in part due to a decline in its HD games, with likes of last year's Visions of Mana, Life is Strange Double Exposure, and Fatsian Neo Dimensions failing to live up to the previous year's Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. Profits here were up, though, thanks to Dragon Quest III, etc., etc. So I'm not going to go into the full extent of this. This is a lot of other bits. But Adam, Square Enix has reported earnings again and has not looked delivering on a big scale. I looked for the press release and the earnings report as well. There was no mention of Life is Strange. I looked at also the one back in 2021 and 2022, and there's no mention of True Colors either. So it's not like a rare anomaly. Square's continuing to move the needle, isn't it, in the right direction? Yeah. It's screaming pre-Resident Evil 7 release for Capcom, where they were just kind of like, well, we've set the really high bar of sales and we're not meeting them. And it's like, I said it before as well in the other podcast, where it's like they shoot themselves in the foot where they make these deals with like PlayStation. And it's like, ooh, let's release Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on just PlayStation. And it's like Adam, who's also grown up with Final Fantasy and is like, could easily play Final Fantasy VII, cannot play it because he's on Xbox. And it's like, he has to wait, or, deals have to be made for Steam releases. And I'm kind of like, Square's strategy is not paying off at the moment. I think they are really like in a soul searching period of like how to release their games, including Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is their biggest.
But
one.
that's
It's like,
that's the thing. They've been on soul searching for like the longest time, man. Like that's the wildest part. Like why can't they figure this out? But they never do. They never will. They never do. And it's just frustrating to watch from a fan standpoint. You know.
yeah, I mean, well, Dragon Quest 3 is a good success for them there. I'll give them that for credit. But yeah,
Sure.
I just don't think they know. I don't think they're an anomaly. I think it's a lot of the publishers that don't know what they're doing. So it's like, for example, where it's like the industry analysts are like, let's put every game will reach $100 if, for example, GTA 5 is priced at that. No. Because if Grand Theft Auto is priced at $100, not saying that's fair, but for example, Rockstar sets a different precedent because it wouldn't surprise me if GTA 6 is like a 10-year game, if not a 15-year game, and they have justifications for putting it up there. I don't think they will, personally speaking. But
Sure.
Square's games have been the same though. It's been like, has Life is Strange really changed that much since 2015, barring like a bit more of a diminishing storytelling, but the assets and stuff, it's like made at a very small, lower end price, rolled out with the hope that people buy it like they did the first game. And over the years, the franchise has just like lost all steam with its fan base. So it's like they have a lot of IPs, but are people really connecting with them? And Square makes some really questionable decisions where it's like people want X game and they give them a different game. And it's like
questionable is an understatement. Let's put it that way.
Well, I tried to be polite there. I just think that they probably need to go back and refocus on. I think that they are as I said, for me, it's a comparison just in terms of how they are in a mentality state for me with Capcom. Capcom took years to get out of that rut where it was like, well, this game's not sounding bad, and this game's sounding poor, and Resident Evil 6 has done poorly. And they went back and reassessed things, and now they're kind of on that remake production line, which is selling really well for them and doing well for them. But they kind of like have now started looking at IPs being like, that one we can kind of like turn into a bit of a better return, i.e. like, for example, Dead Rising remake. Let's remake it because it's been X amount of years, but it has enough where we can remake it. Yeah, I'm not too sure about Square where they go from here. Do you have anything to add on to Square underperforming?
No, it's just like, once again, we have this proportion of Square that is years upon years upon years upon years that is just trying and failing. And the whole point of failing is to learn from your mistakes, but just for at least a decade that I can remember, it's frustrating to watch, man. But what do I know? I'm not no mathematician when it comes to business, but it's so frustrating to watch, you know?
It is frustrating. I'm the same. It's like with most games at studios and developers, I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, this is a rough ride for all of us, isn't it? Just watching from the sidelines whilst they're just struggling to make any means meet. I'm not going to go into too much because like Life is Strange was, I would be more shocked if Double Exposure appeared in their earnings saying like, oh, it's actually like, Life is Strange is helping us move the needle. It hasn't done that for a long time. So it doesn't surprise me. Adam, should we go into our next piece of news? I think this is one of our bigger ones, if anything, for topic wise.
Ooh, let's do this.
So this is a little bit late, actually. This was published back in, I think December, was it? Let me go back up to it. Yes, it was December, but it caught my eye recently, and I had to bring it back in. So this is a publishing feature from the Rolling Stones, as you can see on screen. It says, why multiverses work better in video games than Hollywood, from Hayes Madsen. And we are going back to visit a certain somebody, because Jonathan Stauder, the former Life is Strange Double Exposure director and also former Deck 9 developer, featured in here. So as you can see here, I'm going to read the extract where it says for him it is included. I'm trying to find where he is. There he is. Yes, there he is. He's not the lead writer, so Rolling Stones can edit that to start with. That's very poor. But as you can see here, it says, but Marvel Cinematic Universes feel scattershot so far without any real singular narrative focus or plan that ties its different realities together. But interestingly, that's part of the strength of this format of storytelling, according to Jonathan Stauder, the lead writer of Life is Strange Double Exposure. He's actually the game director of Rolling Stones, so you can correct that. Another multiverse-focused game released this year. Jonathan said here, and I quote, the audience has realized the audience has realized there doesn't need to be a single set of canon events for your favorite story or character. There's no single Spider-Man or one single set of choices for Max Caulfield in Life is Strange. That gives the audience a level of ownership over their favorite pieces of fiction that I don't think we realized we had before. It's a concept that exists independent of whichever story you're discussing." End quote. So that is Stauder's input there. But Adam, I'm going to bring up me as well, because this really, 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 really irked me leading into this topic as well. And you're well aware of this.
Yes, I am.
So as you can see there, here's me on Twitter, on the X platform as well. And I posted it as well with this. And my response to that was that the audience knows there doesn't need to be a single canon until the publisher makes that choice. And then I did some digging as well. And John Stauder as well retweeted this, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen as well. I'm sorry, I'm going to try and keep myself calm here. But this person has put saying, "I keep going back to this quote by the Banjo-Kazooie composer because it's so true. Fans were clamoring for years for Max Caulfield to come back, and they disliked Life is Strange Double Exposure, even though it was a nuanced portrayal of a trauma in the aftermath of a horrific event." And as you can see, it's been posted there, and Stauder retweeted it. And I'm just like, I went on my little rant here on my Twitter thread, and it got a couple of people saying that. I was like, literally zero accountability for what's happened. It wasn't just fans disliking it. It was critics that scored it at the lowest. It's the lowest scored Metacritic Life is Strange title in the entire franchise. In that original post about nuance of trauma, I'm like, come on, Mike. I'm not going to read off my Twitter thread here. I've put my own piece here. But Adam, I wanted to know what you think of it, both including that ridiculous take of it's a nuanced portrayal of trauma, and then also as well with John Stauder giving this commentary about what is canon and what isn't canon, and then also within the multiverse storytelling.
So let's get things straight. First and foremost, nuanced portrayal of trauma. You don't get to put that title on yourself, right? Like I'm gonna give this nuanced portrayal of trauma. Let me tell you one thing. Kendrick Lamar's halftime Super Bowl halftime show was a nuanced portrayal of trauma for a community in America, right? But Kendrick didn't come out and say that like he was Kanye, like I'm the greatest there's ever been. No, Kendrick just performed and people said, wow, that was a nuanced portrayal of a traumatic event towards the Black community of America, right? You don't get to put that title on yourself. The critics get to put that title on yourself. Yes. So if you just go on and say, like, trauma is not something that you should be like, oh, I bet I can add some paprika to this and make it nuanced. What a stupid thing to say.
Just to clarify as well, this is not Stauder's words, but Stauder retweeted them as well in the context of things. So
yeah, sure.
Just making that.
But we know that he's just like he's self-titling himself that, you know.
Yeah, which is what I wanted to kind of clarify. So yes, I completely agree. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know if I have to reiterate this, but I have to. I don't want any ill to happen to Stauder as a person, right? Like he's still a person. He still doesn't need any trauma given to him. He doesn't need to be harmed. I am disagreeing with him creatively. I have to say this over and over again because people are just like, oh, let's give death threats. No. We can disagree creatively, but he's still a person. Don't know how many times I have to say this. Let's go over the Spider-Man one. Let's talk about Spider-Man for a quick second. Because to give that kind of title, to say, well, there's different kind of Spider-Man, so we can give a different kind of Max. The legacy of Spider-Man spans on decades. What are you talking about? So let's when was Spider-Man created? Right? 1962. 1962. We have over 60 years of nuance to Spider-Man. We have different creators, we have different writers, we have different media points, we have comics, we have movies, we have TV shows, we have podcasts on Spider-Man. Who knows? But the amount of media that has, of course, it's going to span. It's going to be a different kind of Spider-Man every single time, right? However, there is still a basis to Spider-Man. There's still a basis that he is from Queens, right? Spider-Man is from Queens, New York. Spider-Man is okay. If we're going to talk about the Peter Parker, right? We're on the basis of Peter Parker. We're not talking about Miles Morales. We're not talking about Spider-Man 2099, right? We're on the basis of I believe what Stauder is going on the point of Spider-Man as Peter Parker, right? So let's not put Miles Morales in this discussion, right? Peter Parker is from Queens. Peter Parker goes to high school. Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider. There is still a basis of rules, right? If you say that, well, Spider-Man no longer thinks of Queens as his home. He now lives in Fargo, North Dakota, and he was bitten by a radioactive buffalo, right? He has different powers now. Like there is like that's the thing. It's like he becomes Buffalo Man. He loves his wing sauce now.
He becomes Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill. He's called like, but that's over the basis of 60 years that we have this kind of turn of Peter Parker. We have 2 storylines of Max, 2 on the span of 10 years.
Yes.
Right? You don't have that kind of right to just twist and turn of who Max is, because there is a basis to Max, there is a basis to Spider-Man. That is the most whack crap I've ever heard, dude, creatively.
Yeah.
Stauder's still a person. We're disagreeing creatively. But no, like to compare yourself to like the writers of Spider-Man, like stop it. Stop.
It's like Batman. And then Batman is written by Alan Moore and Frank Miller. And both the comics they wrote are phenomenal. Some of the graphic novels they read are phenomenal, but they keep the essence of Batman. Unfortunately, with this game, where you've proven as well with Life is Strange, they didn't keep the essence of Max Caulfield. So it's like in the early stages of the franchise, she's already changed things where she's no longer the character that shows shades of what the original one is. So you're not respecting what has already been established. You're already making a completely different interpretation of it. And off that assessment as well. And on top of that as well, the assessment doesn't work because when you say there can be an infinite number of canons of Max, there can be. But when your publisher makes the definitive choice for the canon, your conversation completely becomes null and void. I said it before, the history books will tell you now, because you've established a canon. You have definitively established a canon. Square Enix was like, this is the canon. And what else can you do now? You are literally trapped in that corner where it's like, this is now, unless you retcon it, it is now the canon of the series. And this is the problem with Stauder's argument about Spider-Man, because Spider-Man doesn't have a set of canon, because, for example, Miles Morales becomes a thing. That is because it's an extension of Spider-Man's just an idea, isn't it? That's why you can say Peter Parker and Miles Morales are different. And in itself as well, you then establish Miles Morales' canon. You establish what makes him Spider-Man. He still has foundation works. If you're going to tap a protagonist, you have to understand the key fundamentals that have to be kept in place. So it's like with them, I think as well, in my mind, for them, their perspective is because we've kept certain things for the fact that she was living in Arcadia Bay, she's still Max Caulfield. And it's like, no, you diverted too much away from it. And then in itself as well, that thread, that person's tweet saying that the Banjo-Kazooie comparison. No, people wanted Max Caulfield back, but they are not going to settle for shit anymore in terms of like cheap nostalgic crap, because people are fed up of it now. We had a moment in time in the last 10 years where it was like, ooh, nostalgia. And it's like, even we send TikToks to each other where it's like, ooh, it's the 90s and it's great. But at the same time, if you're going to tap into nostalgia, it better deliver. It's not just about fans' expectations, because again, this didn't just rattle fans the wrong way. It rattled the critics the wrong way because they scored it so low. So it wasn't just a fan perception that killed your game. It was also, are the critics wrong as well? Because you're suggesting here, if you're retweeting that as an endorsement of what's being said, and you're saying that because the fans were clamoring back for it years and then they felt a bit like, they backlashed on it. Well, are the critics the same who scored your game the lowest in the entire series, that have criticized the writing, the quality of the product, etc., etc.? No, they're not wrong. And then in itself, that takeaway is a nuanced portrayal of trauma.
Yeah.
Like, I have no expertise. I have no expertise to talk about trauma. But at the same time, I spent the last year and a half studying about trauma, at least. Adam knows about this as well. I'm looking to potentially look into different paths as well. I wear my scars as well visibly
Mhm.
with my trauma. He also has his scars, whichever way he comes on, visibly with trauma. Now, not everyone's trauma is
That's why
very
I'm so funny.
definitively. Yes, because it's a reflex mechanic. And the simple fact is, for example, that isn't shown in this game either as well, because trauma is only activated in this game to become a plot device. When it's a plot device that serves the game, then it becomes a thing. When it's not, you get rid of it. So it's not nuanced in the game. And it's the same with what you said before with Kendrick Lamar, because his portrayal was nuanced because people picked up on it and they appreciate it. When you scream something, if I said, I have the greatest podcast in the world, people will be like, you don't have the greatest podcast in the world because you're telling people you have to say. When you have to say something, that means you are not that thing. And it's the same with me. If I said I'm the Life is Strange goat and no one agreed with that, then it's clearly a me thing because I can't establish myself as that. If other people said it about me, I'd be truly touched. But I think there's a lot more people who are more bigger Life is Strange fans than me. But it has to establish some kind of precedent. So in itself, right, I get it. I get it. You're a human being. I'm not going after someone like Stauder personally. He lost his job. He's probably frustrated with things. The creative team are frustrated with the process of things. Unfortunately, you can throw your toys out the pram. You can throw the awards in your face, being like, well, we've been on the BAFTA long list. Well, anything can get on the BAFTA long list. You've seen, for example, Banishers being snubbed from that. It's ridiculous because Banishers should be replacing Life is Strange in that category by 100 miles. And I haven't even played the game either. I think you would agree with that. Do you not?
Yes.
Yes. So it doesn't mean anything. It's the same with the Game Awards. It's the same with these other little awards. You can try and promote the thing where it's like, oh, it's a GLAADA nomination. If it didn't get nominated for a GLAADA nomination, I'd be more surprised because it's Life is Strange of all games. And I get you're frustrated. But at the same time, this kind of reaction, blaming the fans or suggesting to blame the fans and feeling that this is how you've been treated is not a reflection of what the game has come out to be because we are not alone on this consensus. We have already done a podcast on this. You can go and watch it. I had some very big takes that I've aged like wine in there. I've said my piece with it as well. You were part of the creative team. You created this mess. You created the product that came out, which poorly performed in the writing. It was deeply criticized for that. The story was deeply criticized. You were the creative department on the game. You might have had an overarching publisher telling you other little things. Ultimately, it's your decision. And that's where accountability has to be held from this. Because I was going to come on here doing a screaming contest, but the comments are utterly baffling from him because you don't understand why people are annoyed. And you think, for example, that because you made a game, you are Michel Koch. That's like me if I wrote Solid Snake in a poor fan fiction, I'm Hideo Kojima. No. You need to understand the material you're making with this. I've already said this to other people I know very well. If I was going to write this character, I would have spent the better part of all my spare time understanding who Max Caulfield is. And understanding Max Caulfield is a representation of a lot of people. It's understanding what Christian Devine thinks of Max Caulfield, what Jean-Luc thinks of Max Caulfield, what Michel, Raoul Barbet, Luc Baghadoust, who Emma Vicelli, for example. Emma Vicelli is the only person for me who has aged Max to a certain extent and done another interpretation. What does she think of Max? I would also think about what Hannah thinks of Max as well, because that's the actor that's doing my delivery. I need to understand what she thinks of her and how she would deliver it. I'm not telling her to write the character. I'm understanding her interpretation of it. I would look at Serena, the first motion capture actor, because she had experience doing this. What does she think about Max and the way she walks and her introvert shyness? That all comes together collectively. And then once you've added all that together, you add the final component that makes the pot perfect, which is that you understand what the player represents to Max. Because Max is a young little girl in Life is Strange, and yet every single person, whether it's the gay person from here, to a 60-year-old man, to a 40-year-old man, to a 25-year-old trans person, anyone can relate to her, which is what makes her very special because she's a vessel. You project yourself onto Max. That's why people have become quite deeply associated with Max. And Adam, I'll say this as well, because I've been very coy about it. One thing that really irked me about this game, when I kind of was figuring out who I was in terms of my place on the spectrum, Max was an opening point for that. And I worked out, and to know that Max is a visibly representative character of a spectrum character really was a nice thing to have in the gaming industry. And when you rip that apart in double exposure and then project it onto Moses instead, and then you don't even give him enough nuance. Think about this as well. In double exposure, doing Max is when Moses is tapping his hand when he's with Vince Alderman, and he's showing an autistic trait, right? Imagine if Max would say Moses, I understand, or Moses, I feel the same way sometimes. Maybe not understand, people are different on the spectrum, but connect the dots there, give it a little bit more thingy. No, Max has none of that. Max has her entire agency on the spectrum stripped. She has her entire history stripped. She has her history rewritten in certain parts to appease the plot. So you did the exact opposite of what you said with Spider-Man. Spider-Man has continuity. Bitten by a bug. Parents are dead. All these little factors make Spider-Man, and then you can write your story in it. Happens with every single one. I brought it up before. Frank Miller, Alan Moore, written Batman, still have certain key principles in place. This game chucked that out the window. And it was like, okay, we'll just write Max for the sake of it. And then when we need to, we'll bring in key character
without
development
establishing rules of Max.
That's the main one. There are no rules put in place across this entire game, down from her personality to her powers. You didn't even put a parameter on her powers. So it's like, you didn't even establish that. Even itself, you could just brought Rewind back and gone from that. If you worked something out in terms of either ending, you could have worked something there. But instead, you evolved it, and then you never really give a clear-cut explanation to explain why you evolved her powers. So to say that you can say that you can't make the argument. You can make that argument about the canon thing if you had done what Emma Vicelli did with the comics, where she's like, this is one universe of an infinite universe of possibility. Instead, you tried to make a game that followed two paths of an ending, and it does not work in the context of things. And that's it simply for me. Like, I can't sit here like screaming at Stauder and shouting him and stuff. I have my own feelings and things that I've heard and whatever else of it, and the development process of this game. And he's still human, and he's looking for a job, and I wish him the best of luck with another job. But also, my simple position for him is that just because you made a Telltale game doesn't mean you can make a Life is Strange game good. And this was a clear direction of it as well, because your legacy at the moment, and this might sound, I'm trying not to sound cruel, your legacy at the moment is that you're only Life is Strange director who made a game who got fired at the end of it. And that is a damning indictment that your character wasn't represented well enough, because then Square Enix is looking at it and being like, well, the sales aren't good here. And actually, should we go to feedback? Imagine what the survey feedback they're getting from people.
Yeah.
And like, well, I didn't recognize Max. Imagine that. Imagine that if you were a publisher, got that. It's like Konami kept one saying, I don't recognize Solid Snake. Oh, damn. And it did happen to Konami before. They did it when they retconned Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake back in the 1990s. It happens. So this is the truth with Stauder as well. Like, I get your frustrations. I get the way you feel about things as well. And you might feel, because you got these award nominations and stuff, it don't cut the grass with people anymore, especially people in their franchise as well. Because the minute, if you wanted to actually get opinions, you go out there and be like, I want to see what other people think. I want to know why people are annoyed about the Chloe Price situation. I want to know why people don't understand the story as well. And if, as soon as Stauder pens an entire article for the Rolling Stone explaining who killed Safi in the game, I'll take my comments back. So I'll be like, actually, he was in the right. But considering no one can explain who killed the main character, who killed one of the side characters in this game of a murder mystery, it's not a good game. That in itself baffles me, Adam. That's why I don't take awards seriously anymore. If Life is Strange is nominated for Best Narrative at the BAFTAs, I hope the presenter who presents them with the BAFTA win says, can you please explain to me who killed Safi? Because I'm very interested about this. Because like, I played the game and I don't know how it's made this jury's list of like nominations. As you will. Bewildered.
Yeah.
Adnan is bewildered. Adam is bewildered by this comment. It does not help your case. You are no longer involved with Life is Strange. I wish you the best of luck with your future. I wish you, your other peers who were laid off, best of luck with your future. But I'm not going to sit here and entertain, you had a very fair perspective to make that comment, considering the way the game has come out. And to say that fans have like rejected this because of whatever reason, it don't work like that. If Chloe Price came back and it was Ashley Birch, but it was a complete character assassination of her, people would have done the exact same thing. It makes no difference. And I've said this before, me and Adam have said it before as well. If Hannah Telle was not playing this character, oh my lord, this would have gone even worse. This would have 100% gone worse with not just us, but other fans.
Yeah.
I've said my piece.
Yes.
I'm fair with my piece, right? I feel like I'm fair.
I think.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have said that, would you? If anything.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, right. Anyway, should we go into our next piece of news?
Before we do.
Oh wow, he's done it during the actual recording.
So what album would you call this? What's he working on?
So for our audio listeners, Adam has done the for the album shoot for Michel.
Life is whack.
Oh, no. The Cove.
The Cove.
The Cove. So The Cove, and the is like underlined.
Ooh, The Cove. Well,
The
we'll
Cove.
send it over to Mr. Luke. We'll comment it on his Blue Sky and say, what would you name this album?
I can't believe that's it. Is that what you? I was wondering if you were frozen at one point during the podcast. I was like, he's not saying
No,
anything.
I was
It's just like-
locked in, brother.
Wow. Oh wow, Adam. Should we go into our next piece of news, because this is right up your
This is
alley
very
as well at this
exciting.
point. So I
Yes.
think this is the big one. So it has been delivered, guys. The prophecy came true, as I tweeted on Twitter. I tweeted at them. I tweeted at Kid Katana. I was like, you need to make a vinyl. Don't know. You
Yes.
need to make a vinyl for Lost Records. And the gods have delivered. So as you can see here, Kid Katana Records has confirmed that the Lost Records Bloom and Rage OST is available for pre-order, shipping worldwide, and it is €39. So for non-EU
That's a nice
customers
price.
as well. Yeah, look at that. For non-EU customers, please note there's a 20% discount applied. It's the price after entering your delivery address to exclude VAT. So it's even cheaper
Nice
for you guys.
price. Yeah.
So as you can see there, it says Kid Katana Records teamed up once again with Don't Nod to release Lost Records Bloom and Rage OST on vinyl. Obviously, it has been released. They released the Juice on vinyl, which Adam has as well, and he loves. This album accompanies the adventure of 4 teenage girls. Oh, that's the other part that we already know. With their growing friendship embodied by their punk band, music plays a key role in both the story and gameplay. The game OST is an 18-track album blending different genres, dream pop, ambient, and punk, featuring an incredible lineup of artists and several songs with the vocals. As you can see there as well, you got Ruth Radler, Nat Walker, and Adam Miller, former members of Chromatics, reunited for this special project. Milk and Bone, the acclaimed Canadian electronic duo who did Baby Dreamer. Adam, it's Baby Dreamer in the last episode. It wasn't the Dreamer that you called it.
It's called
EP.
Baby Dreamer. Yeah.
Baby Dreamer.
It's such a good album, man. You all need to
It's a good
really
EP.
It's a good EP. It's
Thank you.
It's a great piece of music. I'm just saying this right now. Y'all are understanding this, man. Go listen to Baby Dreamer. Go buy it on Bandcamp.
Yes, there you go. So you get that. And then also as well, Nora Kelly Band, fresh Canadian alt country / punk band, and they'd obviously released See You in Hell. So the roster defines a dreamy and ethereal soundscape resonating with the 90s nostalgia and the Super 8 aesthetics of the game. The physical edition is a 2 LP designed in the close relationship with the game's creative team. You got 2 colored vinyls, transparent pink and blue, matching the game's cover art. You got gatefold art featuring exclusive in-game graphics. You got teenage punk roster, nod to the game's rebellious spirit and characters, and liner note. Is it liner note? Not linear note. It's liner note, isn't it?
Liner notes, yeah.
Yeah, liner notes. Giving insight from the game's creative team and featured artists and more visuals to come as well. And as you can see, obviously, Lost Records is coming out soon. And as you can see here, the vinyl, we're just going to put some pictures up, which are quite nice. And it looks pretty good. So I'm very excited for that. Vinyl has been announced. It has been delivered. Adam, have you bought the vinyl?
No, I'm waiting until closer to the move to get it. So I'll get it later.
I'll get it later.
I'll get it later.
Right. But yes, I'm very excited for it. It looks good. I have pre-ordered my vinyl.
It will be on Bandcamp, though. It will be on Bandcamp. Let's go, baby.
You're going to have to get one of those vinyls, though. It needs to go next to the
I
Juice
will.
one.
I'm just very happy that it is going to be on Bandcamp as well. You can buy the album. You can buy the vinyl through Bandcamp, by the way.
Ooh, very
That's
exciting.
nice.
That's quite nice.
Yes.
Actually, Adam, as
Anyway.
well, you noticed the track list as well, didn't you? Which is missing a couple of the tracks, which
The tracks they're not revealing, so there's that. They're not going to spoil nothing about this game.
There we are. So as you can see there, we've had 10 tracks revealed so far. There's also 11th because we know Foregone's on the game, but it's on the second tape, and that's from Milk and Bone. But as you can see there, you've got tracks being revealed from Nora Kelly Band, Ruth Radler, and Milk and Bone. And then you can see there as well, they've asterisked quite a lot of them out, but obviously See You in Hell instrumental is available, which is on that other one. But they've asterisked the rest out, which it would mean most likely that is obviously big plot points that are going to be revealed in that, which makes sense. But generally speaking, very excited with that. It's a good piece to see, so I'll be picking that up. Adam, anything else to add?
No, I'm very excited, and I called it. I called that. I was like,
did.
Kid Katana is going to be releasing it, so Kid Katana is going to be releasing a vinyl.
Kid Katana is a very much a common W at the minute as well, so they are nailing it. Adam, quick piece of news, light one here as well. Just an update as well, which is that it says there from the STJV today, which was on the 13th February. Today will make history in the video game industry. Strikes in 3 countries, more than 1,000 people at our rallies across France, and even more on strike for our working conditions and our jobs futures. The balance of power has shifted. This is in reference to a general strike that we covered recently. Today's success shows workers will not remain passive. Let it be the beginning of an even wider movement. Unionize, go on strike, gain new rights. Together we will win. So it's a continuation of the STJV's battle with not just Don't Nod, but with many studios across the world. So as we've kind of talked about in that first tape, Adam, as well, it's probably like, this has probably impacted Don't Nod quite a lot over the last couple of weeks and months as well. It's not just this strike. There've been quite a few strikes against Don't Nod with the reorganization project announced and potentially people being laid off. So, yes, we thought we'd bring that as an update. I don't have much else to add, to be honest, with that. Anything else?
No, it's just, sucks to hear.
Indeed. So should we go into a little mini topic here? It's like a news piece, but like a little mini topic, because someone asked us to talk about this just briefly, and it's in the scheme of another one, which is about a Hannah Telle interview, which I thought we'd kind of talk about. So I'm going to pull this up on Twitter because it'll be showing here. So this interview of Hannah Telle dropped, and we're not going to cover it, not out of spiteful nature or anything like that. I'm just not going to bring it up in StrangeCast or any other Player One versus the World feeds. I like do it. I made the executive decision there without consulting Adam by saying we're not including it. But also this person that follows me on Twitter, lovely person, LondoMollari, said, the slow and painful death of a franchise, just disappointing for everyone involved. Even the 10-year anniversary ended up being just a few tweets. I hope you talk about that in the next podcast because it was seriously underwhelming. And I said, indeed, we will cover it. I'll make notes in the podcast. So I thought I'd bring up Adam. So for context, I was watching the Hannah Telle interview that was published on a YouTube channel. I'm going to say which one it is for the time being. But it was published on a YouTube channel. It's a long interview and post-game as well. And there's things that Hannah says in the game where she talks about different things and also some other questions asked. And it's like, obviously, stuff about Safi and Chloe, etc. My reason for not covering this and giving it any exposure, because, for example, Hannah Telle is just an actor. Hannah Telle, I love Hannah Telle. I will adore Hannah Telle. If Hannah Telle ever stopped speaking to me, I would simply die, right? But I think Hannah Telle, I adore her because she's just an actor at the end of the day. I followed her career for a long time. I've spoken to her. I always had a great relationship with her. I'm not going to put Hannah Telle on blast by repeating quotes or what she's saying about Chloe and Max, because Hannah Telle has no sway over creativity. Hannah Telle is just an actor who is contracted to do her decision. Now, if this was Stauder, Felice, anyone else from Deck 9 or formerly of Deck 9 who were talking about it, we would cover it because it would give us precedent to cover it because they were creatively involved in the project. They had decisions, including with what the publisher said. Hannah does not have that. So for me, other things have been said. Yes, we covered Hannah Telle interviews before on the channel. We were covering them in the double exposure lead up, but that was relevant to the material. Post-release, I'm not covering it because I'm not giving exposure to that. And also as well, I'm not putting Hannah on blast in terms of, that's like me, for example, do my interview with Olivia Alabassi and be like, do you think Safi's a better character than Chloe Price? And stitching her up in front of other people and then putting out online being like, oh, actually, she thinks Safi's a lot better than Chloe. It's not fair. It's also why that interview didn't include the other stuff about Chloe, because she has no input over that. And it would be completely unfair to put someone in that position. So for me, it doesn't achieve anything for me to sit there transcribing what Hannah says about Chloe when it doesn't have any other merit over what has actually happened. She has no creative input that. So I just pointed that out on Twitter because I was pointing out how low the views were. They're like less than 1,000 at the time when I was posting it, because it's just like people have just, disconnected with the series completely because of what's happened. Then I thought we'd bring in Londo's comment as well, because I wanted to ask you what you thought about it, because we kind of talked about the 10th anniversary, but it was seriously underwhelming. And then we've kind of like alluded to it during the podcast. You could have just announced the vinyl, for example. That would have won fanfare. Just reprint the freaking vinyl. Reprint the other vinyls if you need to. Outside the Daughter one, Daughter reprinted that vinyl, but reprint the other ones if you had to. The true colors and stuff. Just get people buying something, and it's like at least within the vein of like, oh, this is actually good. But I wanted to know what you think, because like it was an underwhelming one. We did productions, thankfully they aged pretty well. But I just wanted to know what you actually thought in like general scheme of things, and to kind of address Londo's comment as well there about the underwhelming nature of the 10th anniversary.
Well, I mean, they mentioned Chloe. That's all we needed, right? Like that's all we needed. That's all we needed. Just they acknowledge Chloe as a character, so we're like, everybody go home. We're all good, everybody. Yeah, no, what a disappointing to like a beloved franchise, right? Not even just beloved. Like this isn't even niche anymore. This is influencing like game genres. This is influencing how you tell stories in games. This is how like this is one of the games that you associate with Square Enix. And it's the unfortunate side, but like you associate Life is Strange with Square Enix, and what do? You just like, oh yeah, it's 10 years. And you can't tell me for 1 second that Square doesn't have the financial capital to not like reprint a vinyl when vinyls are on the uprise. You're Square Enix is just like always about these like the trends and what are people doing? They were so close to making an NFT game. They were one bad decision away from making an NFT game. Shout out Ubisoft. But no, it's just kind of like, dang, dude, 10 years and you're just like, you didn't prepare for it. Like even Xbox right now is saying that the 25th anniversary of the Xbox is coming up pretty soon. It's coming up in 2026. And they're already planning for the 25th anniversary. They're just like, we need to make it big. We need to make it good. But Square Enix, you had years, literally a decade to plan just like something, anything about like the 10 years.
Anything, just like anything that like you could even have done, for example, a limited edition 10th anniversary badge of Arcadia Bay or something, which people could buy and like print it off in like even if it was limited, like 500, or do like a mass scale where people can buy it and then hold on to it as a piece of memorabilia. Because as you said, with Xbox, not many things get to like 25-year milestones, even 5 years or like 10 years, and for things to be still talked about. And we're kind of like, you know, we're covering the Life is Strange series when it's in this like limp, I'm not gonna say the next word, limp moment phase of the franchise. But it's like it transcended its medium. It's created a franchise of games where you've been able to hold yourself up, and like for developers to make games and publishers to have success with it. But to just do fan art, which was like the generic, like here's generic fan art, and then release the game that was obviously quite clearly intended to be a 10th anniversary milestone the year before, and then it just flop as well, quite commercially from the optics of things. It's like a low point. It's like a low bar, and it's like, as you said, reprint the vinyl when the vinyl's on. Like, for example, Square Enix is the kind of publisher that will reprint this vinyl 10 years from now when vinyl sales have plummeted, and then be like, and it's like, oh, I thought vinyls were on the no, vinyls were on the rise 10 years ago, guys.
Yeah.
When there's a momentum, reprint your vinyl and do it. It's the same with like Lost Records. Like if Lost Records does that and it succeeds and has all those great things, Kid Katana should be like, in 5 years from now, we'll reprint the vinyl and we'll get Nora Kelly to sign it with a 500 print limited run, and then we'll get people to buy it as like an anniversary. That's it. I'm not saying you have to like, build a Max statue or something for outside in London's headquarters for like a 10th anniversary, but just do something sentimental, even if it's like a little pin, if it's like why didn't the publisher do an everyday heroes competition to mark this? Instead, they did it for double exposure last year in the build-up. Do you remember that photography event that they did? And it was like, here, like, submit your kind of like things and we'll pick one out. No one really talked about that after it happened. They did this like little gallery thing. No one actually talked about it after.
Yeah.
It's like, do things for your anniversary. I'm swear Chris from Life is Strange fans has been doing more in terms of anniversary checkpoints, and including with like Day doing an upcoming stream, which you should go and watch as well. Day doing a stream, then Square has done in terms of like on this game, and it's like it is disappointing. It's just a general disappointment.
If you're gonna keep the IP and not sell it off to Donut, like at least do something with it, man. Like anything.
Like even in retrospect as well, when you look at the anniversary, like they posted things. Even Donut got Edward Carplay to do like a special version of Max and Chloe. Do you like it in the artwork? And they posted that, so it's like a little nice gesture of it. Why don't they get someone to do something like that, where it's like, an artist, a specific artist, or even, for example, get Emma Vicelli commissioned to draw Max and Chloe, or like draw Max or something, or someone who has like a history with the series to tie it back in, or anything along those lines. But no, nothing like that. And it's completely disappointing. Even a pin would have been great. I know they've done like a recent line of production with some other thing with like things, but like just like a special 10th anniversary pin, or do something else. Acknowledge how many players have played the game. It's hit a 25 million milestone or something now. Anything.
Michel did. Like Michel put it out. But like Square is just constantly ignoring it. But then we tell them like, well, sell it off then. If you're not going to use it right, no, it's ours. Then do something, anything. Yeah. It's like, goodness gracious.
Square's literally that gift, you know, that Stickman where he's poking. It says, "Do something." It's my favorite gift. It's like, it says, "Do something." That is Square. It's like, like wow, God, alright. So we'll leave it at that. But thank you for the comment, Londo, and I hope that we kind of talked about it as much as you wanted there. So, Adam, quick comment of the podcast today, and then we'll spread the arts and we're out of here. So, comment of the podcast comes from the Lost Fan 2010. Enjoyed the love for the rules episode. Here, Adam, enjoyed the love for the rules episode, right?
I'm glad this you and this person finds joy in something.
Yeah, well, I saw Yellow Flash Hawkins being a hater in the comments, and you're not commenting the podcast, so like, see you later. So it's gonna be this comment. So Lost Fan 2010 enjoyed the love for the rules episode. Red from Mount Wolf and I Found a Way from First Aid Kit are two of the best licensed tracks in the series. Very true.
In the series.
I don't know. In the
That's
context
a hot take.
They're pretty good tracks, man. I could put them on the Life is Strange 1 soundtrack.
They're better than Sid Meier's licensed tracks. They're better than Sid Meier's. They're better than
Spanish Sahara and like, you know, and obstacles and stuff. I think they'll still be. I think it's up there as one of they're up there as one of the best to have in the series. At least within the context of the scenes. At least with Life.
Well, he didn't say they are the best. He said two of the best. So it's in the top 5. I'll give you the top 5. But if you tell me that Red is the best licensed track in the Life is Strange series, hot takes.
There's hot takes, not as hot takes as Not the Milky Bucket, but they are hot takes. Then fair enough. Thanks also for reminding me how much I love Don't Nod Life is Strange games for tackling the subject of violence and oppression in modern society and America specifically with a thoughtful and compassionate eye. Be it about violence against women in the first game or violence against racial minorities in the second. I have a feeling we'll see something like that in Lost Records as well. Which thank you for the comment. I think you probably will, considering how many disclaimers and trigger warnings we saw from that. But yes, thank you for the comment, and it was nice to have that as well. It did include some hot takes there for Adam, if anything. I could put I Found a Way up there in like one of the best, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adam, whilst you're not being a hater and photoshopping Michel, we'll move into our Spread the Arts. Spread the freaking arts. What are you spreading today?
I'm actually spreading a Netflix movie that I've ignored until the other day. It is Anna Kendrick's directorial debut called Woman of the Hour. Brother, I have slept on this movie. And bro, this is Anna Kendrick's directorial debut. Bro, she killed it, man. Like, it was insane. Like, the cinematography. I looked up the director of photography on this movie. Again, another guy that's, like, done some shorts here and there. He's done the Netflix movies, but he's not, like I was just like, this guy is inspired by Coen Brothers. Like, straight up, like, it was like Coen Brothers cinematography. I'm like, he had to have worked on like No Country for Old Men kind of cinematography. Nope, didn't work on that. It was like this and like a few shorts and like another bigger movie. But my goodness, man, the shots in this movie are phenomenal. The suspense in this movie, the lack of music. I think it's the lack of music that really gets you like jittery, and you feel what women feel like day to day as they're approached by strange men, and like they know a nice guy from danger. No, it was a great message about protecting women. It's based on a true story, by the way. in the 1970s. So yeah, great messaging, great direction, phenomenal direction, intense cinematography, like all around. Man, I slept on Woman of the Hour. Woman of the Hour on Netflix is, man, if you've got Netflix, that's what you're paying for. That's exactly what you're paying for.
I always liked Anna Kendrick. I thought
Yeah.
she was really good. I think she was a really good fact. What's the Pitch Perfect? Yeah, I enjoyed Pitch Perfect. She was very
Yeah.
funny in that. She's got a good personality. I
And that's the
didn't realize
thing.
she was
Her
directing.
acting, of course, is great in this, but again, this is directing. Like this is her first directorial movie. I'm like, bro, you can direct too. like again, I was watching this from the direction of this movie. Where's this go? Now, it wasn't written by Anna. It wasn't written. It was just direct. Man, dude, it's a 2023 film, and I'm sad I slept on it for this long. So, yeah, One of the Hour.
Fair enough. No, it's good. I'll check that out actually because I do think she's very talented, and I'm interested that she's become a director as well. That's quite a pivot change out on that. My
Yeah.
my pick for Spread the Arts is, I wonder if you get the reference. Take my hand, oh my hand, take my hand.
No.
It's a Scary Movie too.
Oh my god, I was just about to watch like the first Scary Movie. I was like, I don't know if I will today.
Watch that or two. Two is it's like wait a guy.
3 I remember was like okay, but 2 specifically.
Yeah. Anna Faris is like one of the funniest people I have ever seen. She is just, I don't know what it is about her. She is so funny, but I watched Scary Movie. She's
dedicated to her character. That's why. Like, no matter what, she's dedicated.
So good. I watched it again because I was going to send you the it came up on my TikTok feed. Do you when they spoofed the Nike segment with the basketball in Scary Movie 2?
Yes.
That came up and I was like, right, I need to watch this again because it's come up. And oh my god, it's peak millennial humor. That's what Scary Movie 2.
Of course.
I think if you watched it now, you'd probably struggle as like a Gen Z or like even going to Gen Alpha to watch it. But it is peak millennial humor, and I could not stop laughing. I know that they're making another Scary Movie as well now.
Are they?
Yeah. What's he called? Thingy, is he called Wayland? Why do I keep thinking he's called Wayland or something?
Oh, Marlon Wayans?
Marlon Wayans, yes, Marlon Wayans, yes. You know that he's going to make another Scary Movie film. I think they got the rights or something for it. I don't know if Hannah Faris is involved in it or not, but like, you know, they do need her, if anything. It is peak. All the characters in that film, fantastic. If you never watched Scary Movie, you should watch. I was a huge horror fan. I love Scream series, but
summer of 2026. Yeah.
He's so funny as well. He is really funny.
Marlon Wayans, yeah, always. Have you ever seen the stand-up?
No, I haven't watched the stand-up. I watched his other film series that he did. Was it The Haunting House? I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you should watch that if you haven't seen it. That's funny.
Yeah, that was a great one. No, his stand-up is really, really good too. Like beyond funny, dude.
I might actually have to check that out. Actually, if you, for stand-up, it wouldn't surprise me if he's stand-up. He's actually hilarious in Scary Movies. So that's
what I mean. Like, pick any one of his specials. It's like saying like, oh, which fruit is the best? Like, just pick a fruit. It's all good for you. Same thing with Marlon Wayne's stand-up specials. No matter which one, you got it.
But my favorite part as well. I don't know what my favorite part, the full thing is. My favorite part in all of Scary Movie 2. There's 2 parts. It's the one where he's downstairs with what's the guy called now? Is it what's he called? I think he's a little bit unwell at the minute. Scary Movie 2. Pull this up for you. Oh, why is he not getting the credits quickly?
Yes.
No, it's not Chris Elliott. Who is it? He's really famous, the actor.
Chris Elliott?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Yes.
Yeah, how could I forget that? So do you want Tim Curry standing with the guy who's in the wheelchair downstairs, and the waiter comes in, and they start like throwing jabs at each other.
Yes.
And he's like, let me give you a hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna be the bigger man here, and walk away. Walk. And Tim Curry in that, just watch the camera pan of Tim Curry. How he is not laughing, I do not know. And I love Tim Curry.
It's like one of those scenes where, like, how many takes did it have?
Yeah, it must have had so many because it's like they are just like it's like great slapping comedy. And the other one by far is when Cindy is getting chased by the skeleton and Brenda is like hiding behind the wall and she's like, get her ass. she's like, oh my god, she's caught me. And then it's when Cindy comes up to her and the skeleton's there and she's like, Cindy, this is Bones.
Yes.
Iconic duo that not talked about enough. Cindy and Brenda from Scary Movie. So that's my favorite. If you've never watched Scary Movie, go and watch it. It's fantastic. I love it. So that's my recommendation. Adam, we're done now.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully this comes out on the Monday, so this will be before Lost Records and Bloomy Rage season. We will have our podcast out on the Lost Records Journal in the week that you get the StrangeCast. So it'll be out on the weekend. I think me and Adam will be recording our review for Lost Records Bloomy Rage's Tape 1. So do stay tuned for that if you want a bit of context on when we do it. I may or may not do a video myself at some point after the games come out to give my initial impressions. I'm still deciding on that. But either way, you'll get our opinion on Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, whatever our opinion's worth, if anything. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think about any of the topics in here as well. And obviously, we have comment of the podcast, so you can get your comment featured on the next episode. And also, Adam can call you out if you have a hot take as well on it. So either way, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you are new here, as always, one more time, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video and share with your friends. It helps support the channel, helps keep up to date with all the content we produce. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with a video version, Apple Podcasts. We've got 286 followers on Spotify and also 41 ratings. So please do rate us as well. It helps boost our visibility. So again, guys, stay tuned to the channel because obviously the next podcast is the big one. It is the big one, especially for Lost Records Journal, because it will be our review of Tape 1. Bloom. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. See you later. Bye.
Later.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.